my island in the sun, no. My island home, my island home. Let me tell you about where I'm from, my island in the sun, no.
We're off from Antigua to St. Kitts and chose not to take the Narrows.
Mistake number one.
But nothing compared to the Barbershop incident coming up.
And we want to know how you would have dealt with an aggressive local. Again.
Good morning, everybody. We are just leaving Antigua.
Over there,
Over that way.
on our starboard side.
Exactly. And so far, it looks to be a beautiful day. And so it should take us anywhere from 7 hours to 11 hours, depending
Somewhere there.
on what the sea state continues to be, what the winds are. And but right now, what is our wind speed?
Our wind speed is 12 knots. It's slated to be 12 knots for the day, gusting to 17. So we've got a full sail profile. The main is all the way up, head sail is all the way out, and we're probably 85 degrees to wind. And right now, as we're coming around, as you see, the northwestern side of Antigua, we're getting a bit of the sea swell and the waves wrapped around the island, so they're coming into us a little bit more head on than we'd expect to be, but that'll end in a few hours.
Exactly. We're on our way to St. Kitts and Nevis, and over on this side, we're passing along Montserrat.
The volcano doesn't look to be too active today. As you saw in the last video, the volcano was spewing a lot of ash out previously. So, hopefully it's going to be a good day, and we'll see you later on.
Antigua was very good to us. The amazing views and meeting Mansfield atop Shirley Heights and learning some dark history of Antigua.
You must watch that video. Sincerely, must. So a little bit of education for you. Waves breaking in a line are not normal. That means there's a reef out there, so we have to go around the reef. Fortunately, not only can we see that, but on the chart plotter, it's mapped out so you can avoid it. So at low green is where the reef is. So you can't see it unless you see the waves breaking over top of it at this point because of the tide. And then the wind drops down to 9 knots, 8.8 to 9 knots, and we're doing 5.5 knots. The reason we can go as fast as that was such low wind, look at the sea state. It is really calm sea state as well. Might be a 1.5 foot, 2 foot, or 0.3 of a meter height. So if we only had like 15 knot winds, we would just be cruising. We'd do 8s and 9s easily. But there's Nevis and St. Kitts ahead of us, and we'll be there in the longer form of probably 8 hours in total, maybe 9, as opposed to the speeds we were going before, which would have had us there in about 7 to 8. But it's a beautiful day, right? Like they say about fishing, bad day fishing is better than a good day at work. Same for sailing.
Fortunately, after a whole 9 knots for about 1.5 hours, the winds picked up to a beautiful 15 knots, so we could do 6.5 to 7 knots. Perfect sailing.
We went around Nevis instead of going through the Narrows between Nevis and St. Kitts.
Probably won't be doing that again, as it added at least 1.3 hours of time, and the winds really started to climb.
Yes, to a sporty 28 knots in under 2 minutes, so reef in both the main and the head sail.
Take my advice, leave it to time. Yes, I made them worry your mind. Don't worry about it. Leave it to time. I made them worry your mind. Yes, alright, 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 I'm sure everything is gonna be alright. Alright, 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 of course. Everything is gonna be alright. One thing we know, everything is gonna be alright, though. Blow through the snow. Everything is gonna be alright. One thing we know, everything is gonna be alright, though. Blow through the snow. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be.
Nestled on the southwestern coast of St. Kitts, Ballast Bay is a hidden gem for sailors. With super calm waters, lush green hills, it's the perfect spot to anchor and soak in the Caribbean breeze, as usually there are only 2 to 3 boats there, at best. During turtle mating season in April to May, you may be lucky enough to hear the very unusual, almost coughing calls of male turtles echoing through the water.
Sounds like someone clearing their throat of phlegm. Or Gollum, and you expect to see him crawl on the transom looking for his precious. And being in quiet solitude in the bay is exactly what we love, even with turtles mating.
Welcome to Christoph Harbor in St. Kitts.
Woohoo!
We are here to clear in and then go for a little walkabout and just see what's the same, what's different from when we were here last year. But the anchorage that we're in, it's called Ballast Bay, is just so nice and calm and quiet. And there's only one boat in there with us. And just,
a manta. I've actually never seen a manta catamaran before
in real
life.
Very different. And it's quiet and lovely.
So hopefully the check-in experience here is just as good as other places. It's nice to see them getting some traffic because they built this place just before COVID, and I think it was 2020. And everything started to officially open. They had restaurants, they had beautiful dock facilities, great marina, an amazing restaurant over in White's Bay. And lo and behold, COVID wiped it right out. So it's clawing itself back 5 years later. So good to see that there's some activity going on.
My goodness, what took you almost like 50 minutes to get through that clear-in process?
That was 50 minutes?
Very close.
Holy cats.
Yep.
It was actually quite enjoyable. The first part of the process was just normal. The lady at the reception desk for the clearance center, you have to pay a fee of $30 American too because you're here. Yep. So, you walk through that. So that was fine. Then went to customs with Miss Clark. So Miss Clark was fun. She was great. Just more so, if a 10 out of 10 an enjoyable experience, she was an easy 7.5.
Yep.
It was just a good old conversation. Then went off to James, and I thought James was a little bit more uptight because after Miss Clark, who was really that much fun. Well, James, as it turns out to be, is now a follower of us on YouTube.
Of course he is.
Of course he is. He's 21 years old, speaks 4 languages fluently.
Oh my goodness. Well, good for him.
So, that's why, okay,
That
so
is
maybe the whole
ambitious.
price, instead of taking 35 minutes, took 50 because it was conversation.
Exactly.
But back to Saucy, change our clothes and off to Basse-Terre for our walkabout, and a most unfortunate incident with a local.
The Barbershop incident.
It is funny on non-cruise ship days how quiet St. Kitts is.
It is, but it is interesting though because there's 2 cruise ships at the dock, so I can't quite figure out that. I'm sure they still like to shop and look around though, but anyway, better for us.
I agree.
Restaurants, you're a window into the soul of the island's culture, giving you a glimpse of the true people.
Wow, a little thick even for you.
I was inspired by the incomparable Ms. Moore and her Eat to Live snackette. She is a heart of goodness, especially compared to the not-so-gentleman coming up.
This is the famous Mrs. Moore's.
The original.
The original.
And the others counterfeit.
It's all original. And we come here for the Johnny cake and chicken. And her Caribs and the dazzling smile. There you go, she's got it. And it would be a sin to get anything other than 3 Carib, because it's 3 for $10. Oh, look at this. Yeah, I'm getting my hair cut today. So just check it out. Check it out. What's happening before it goes.
Every little chance you take, that's one more step to where you want to go.
And we're here with Mrs. Moore, who's been doing this for 30 years at her restaurant. And she's raised 2 children who are nicely successful, and her Johnny cakes with chicken are amazing. And this is why we come to St. Kitts, right?
Can't miss it.
Can't miss it. Best in the Caribbean. And this is the love you feel. Thank you very much.
And if you appreciate what we're doing, hit the like and subscribe buttons below so others will see it too, like Susan, Brian, and Kim.
How you doing?
St. Sailing isn't just about turquoise waters and freedom. It's about meeting people, encountering different cultures, and sometimes being forced to face things that challenge you.
99% of our experiences with locals and cruisers are great, even incredible. But then there's that 1%, like the threatening knife-wielding guy in St. Vincent.
Episode 22 if you missed it.
That incident didn't hit me until hours later, when it sank in how it could have gone sideways, badly.
And that memory was still fresh when this next moment unfolded.
Yeah, it had me wrestling with my instincts, what I wanted to do versus what was smart to do.
I'm glad you fought those instincts. It could have gone somewhere darker.
But here's what went down. When I was on the corporate hamster wheel, I got my hair cut like clockwork, every month. Now we're free, it's more like every 2 months.
Or 3. Let's not forget your shaggy dog look.
Fair, and like most guys, once you find a barbershop that works, you stick with it. In St. Kitts, I've got a place. It's tucked off the tourist path, local, authentic, and a little rustic. When I walked in, all 15 heads in the shop turned and stared. I don't look like them, and they don't look like me. But people are people, it's never mattered, until now. I sit down in the chair, and the barber's a young Haitian guy, so we speak a little French. Number 2 on the sides, a little longer on top.
I snapped a quick picture and was about to take some video when I heard a voice to our left, louder than normal with a tone that created its own tension.
An older guy, late 50s, had just finished his cut. He climbed onto the shoeshine chair about 12 feet away from us and started talking. English, but thick, Carib Creole accent. I caught most of it, and he wasn't being friendly. He started with how the white man has oppressed the black man for centuries, that we were the reason his people can't get ahead, and that you people will always keep us down.
He even said, "Say hello to Trump for me," and then launched into 177 years of blame about how the white man still enslaves the black man.
Now, I'm not American, and my people didn't enslave anyone, but I still wanted to say something to educate him in the error of his ways, that the world's changed, and changes every day. The stereotypical generalizations can actually cut both ways, but I said nothing.
And that had me scared more because you were still deadpan, which is your tell. You go very cold.
I like to think of it more as calm rage, like Steven Seagal before the limbs start flying against opposite walls of the room. The barber turned the chair a bit, and now I faced the man. I looked at him and gave him a small nod. No reaction. But I did make a mental note of where the extra scissors were on the barber shelf, just in case.
No one in the shop said a word. Over a dozen men sitting in silence for over 20 minutes. That silence said everything.
It reminded me of the Edmund Burke quote, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." And they did nothing. They weren't with him, but they didn't distance themselves either. And that makes you think.
My fear was that they'd go one step further, maybe get physical. And while I know you could take care of them, there were 14 others in the room.
I'm good, but not that good. As the haircut wrapped up, the man stood. We both saw that he had to walk right between us to leave. Me in the chair, back towards them, and Mojo on the bench.
He didn't speak, but started walking towards us slowly. And as he was within 5 feet, he raised his hand upwards, and I flinched. Not visible, but inside, because I was afraid of what might happen next.
I tracked him in the mirror the whole way. When that hand came up, I clenched and knew where the scissors were, but he kept walking.
And I exhaled.
Literally moments later, haircut done, I stood up, paid, tipped the barber, and started to walk out of the shop. To the rest of the room, I uttered the only words I found fitting. Mighty neighborly. Mighty neighborly.
So tell us in the comments, what would you have done in that same situation? By the way, you need a haircut.
I know what my takeaway could have been from the barbershop, but this guy was not typical. Caribbean folk are friendly.
As Mr. Introvert proved minutes later with Clovis, a stranger who said his hat would look better on Liam. He was wrong.
All I had to do was think of James,
I am the general,
and Mrs. Moore, and my day was back to good. You can be that change in the world. It's just that easy. And remember, the sun will come out tomorrow, no matter what color the sky is tonight.
Thanks for sharing our journey and subscribing. And check out this next video, as we believe Nelson Mandela would like it too.